So whenever you're ready, go ahead and meet me in child's pose at the back of your mat. Sitting low into your child's pose here. Finding some softness throughout the body. And giving yourself space to settle in, taking the knees wide. Reaching the arms long. Finding a stretch to the side body. And space throughout the entirety of the back as you let your forehead settle onto the mat. Start to find your breath, taking slow and deep inhales, allowing yourself to exhale fully. Finding a little bit of space in the ribs with each breath. First thing in the morning, you may feel a little stiff, a little bit more rigid. So take advantage of these moments. To push through those limitations. While also finding a little bit of softness. Maybe wiggle the hips side to side. Reaching the fingertips a little bit longer. But from wherever you're at, start to walk the hands over towards the right side of the mat. Reaching beyond the long edge. Finding space along the left rib cage. And again, breathing into any limitations, any tightness that you feel. Moving a little bit deeper into this space, keep the left hand where it's at, keep the rib cage low. And then bring the right hand towards your left hip crease and start to spin the chest over towards the right, keeping the left rib cage low. Finding a little bit more depth, a little bit more space. Bring the right hand back, close the chest off towards the floor, and then walk the hands back through center. Passing through center, reaching over towards the left side. Letting the rib cage settle low towards the earth. Finding length through the right side body, all the way through the right armpit. Keeping your right hand anchored down. Start to bring your left hand towards the right hip crease. Pressing the right rib cage low, opening the left side of the chest towards the left side of the room. Go ahead and close everything off. Left hand comes back to meet the right. And then walk the hands back towards center. Exhale, settle back into your child's pose. Now we're going to start to find more movement in the spine. Transitioning nice and slow from child's pose through cat, unraveling up to cobra. So on your next inhale, start to pull the body through the cat pose, rounding the spine. Maybe gentle tuck of the chin. And as the hips start to lower, gentle pull of the chest through towards the top of the mat. Be okay with any imperfections that arrive coming into high cobra here. Knowing that you're going to find a little bit more space every time. Exhale, sit the hips back. Moving through the spine in any capacity that feels good for you. Just exploring your own space as it shows up for you today. Inhale, pull the body through. Rounding the spine. Hips start to sink low as you pull the chest through. Finishing that inhale. Keeping the shoulders rounded down and away from the ears. Pressing through the heels of the hands and finding a soft bend in the elbow. Exhale, sit the hips back. Coming back into child's pose. Knowing that your body may not come to back to that same starting point each time, might be a different position of the feet, the legs, the hips, and that's okay. Inhale, pull the body through once more. Hips sink low, pull the chest through a little bit more, finding a little bit more space, opening within the front of the chest. Gaze flips. Exhale, sit the hips back. And inhale, come pull your body up into tabletop position. Tuck the toes, bring the knees slightly in towards one another so they're underneath the hips. And then now that we're in a more stable position, flow through some cat-cows at your own pace, through your own range of motion. Rounding and arching the spine, shifting the weight forward and back, following the pattern of your own breath. Maybe explore some barrel rolls, coming left to right. And switching sides. Again, taking this moment to explore your own movement. And then settle into your tabletop position. From here, right hand stays planted. Spin the right foot out towards the outer edge, the right edge of the mat. Left leg comes along behind you. And then left arm sweeps up and overhead, reaching towards the top of the mat, coming into gate pose. Reaching the fingertips along towards the top edge of the mat. Maybe inhaling a little bit deeper, pressing the hips forward. And exhale, bring the left hand back towards the mat. Left knee comes back to meet the right. Switching sides, spin the left foot out. The right foot comes back behind you. Left hand stays planted as the right arm sweeps up and overhead. Anchoring that right foot into the earth as much as you can, reaching the right fingertips up towards the top of the mat. Exploring that length through the right side body. And exhale, start to close everything off. Right hand comes back to the earth. Spin the left foot back, right knee meets the left. Kick the right heel up towards the sky, keeping that bend in the knee, lifting the leg back behind you. And then start to open the hip, externally rotating the hip as the knee opens up towards the right edge of the mat. Drive your right knee in towards your right armpit. And then start to spin the hip a little bit more. Right foot comes outside right hand. So we're taking a big exaggerated circle to bring your right foot outside the right hand. Once you're there, make your adjustments. Walk the left toes back further behind you to get a little bit more into the hips. Bring the fingertips underneath the shoulders. And then pull the chest forward. Coming into a lizard lunge, a low lunge. Pulling the left hip bone up and forward. Keeping the chest lifted, crown of the head lifted, finding a long spine. Then exhale, sit the hips back behind you. Right toes lift. Finding length within the back side of that right leg. And you can stay bent, keep the chest long, reaching out in front of you. Inhale, shift the weight back into your right foot. Sink the hips low, pull the chest through. Exhale, sit the hips back. Inhale, come forward. As you come forward into the hips once more, plant the left hand, if you're up onto your fingertips, and then allow yourself to come onto the outer edge of the right foot, finding a little bit more space, a little bit more opening within the right hip. And let the hips sink lower, relax into this opening, this allowance for a little bit more space. Stay strong and supported in the left hand. Return to the right, the sole of the right foot, ground down to the big toe. Tuck the left toes back behind you. Press the left knee to straight, sit the hips back, coming into extended pyramid pose. Knock the right hip back a little bit more, pull the left hip forward. Driving the left heel down towards the earth. Find lengthening within the back sides of both legs here, just in a little different spaces. Keeping the chest long, spine long. And then drop the back knee. Come back onto the hands if you're on the fingertips. And then bring the right foot back to meet the left. Reversing that little rounding circular movement. The right knee comes back down to the earth. And then transitioning into the left side. So keeping that 90-degree angle in the knee. Drive the heel up towards the sky. And then start to open the hip. Left knee starts to point towards the left side of the room. Driving the left knee in towards the left armpit. Stay strong and steady that right side. Then start to open the hip a little bit more. Left foot comes outside left hand. Start to wriggle the right toes back behind you. Finding space, length in the hips. Come into a lizard lunge. For the time being, keeping that left knee hugging in towards the left elbow. Sinking into the hips, but continuing to find length in the front side of the right leg. So within that right hip, pull that hip bone forward. Keep the spine long, reaching the crown of the head into the space in front of you. And keeping the chin lifted from the chest. Exhale, sit the hips back, left toes lift. Keeping a soft bend in the knee. If you are taking this class first thing in the morning, we're exploring our space, finding a little bit more depth with each movement. Inhale, hold body back forward. Let the sole of the foot come to the earth. Pull the chest through. Exhale, sit back. Fold a little bit more towards the left leg. And keep that soft bend there. Sitting the hip bones back behind you. Gentle lift of the tailbone to find a little bit more length, a little bit more space. Inhale, pull forward. Sole of the foot comes to the earth. Plant the right hand. And then coming on to the outer edge of the left foot. Finding a little bit more space. Pressing the knee out wide. And just sinking a little bit lower into the hips. Sensations may change. Just allowing the hips to sink low. But keeping that integrity by staying strong through the right arm. Maybe finding some gentle rocks. And exploring the rocks of the body, rocks of the hip. Just exploring your space. First thing in the morning, sometimes things need to be a little bit more fluid. Ground down through the left big toe. Tuck the back toes, straighten the back leg, and sit the hips back, coming into extended pyramid pose. Gentle wringing of the hips in towards one another. Left hip goes back, right hip goes forward. Reaching the chest long and finding that compression in whatever capacity is accessible today. Feel free to make any adjustments that you need. If you need to bring the back foot in a little bit closer, if that just feels right for you. One more breath, reaching the crown of the head long, lifting the chest towards the top edge of the mat. Rebend into the left knee, drop the back knee. Left hand plants, right hand plants. And then reversing that circular motion of the hip to come back to tabletop position. Once you're in tabletop, press your hips back, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Feel free to explore any space that you'd like here in your downward facing dog. So we're going to walk the feet up towards the hands to a count of 10. Coming into a forward fold. And we'll begin now. So take whatever movements you want for this last moment and start to walk the feet up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, big toes come into the wrists, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, find a gentle lift, exhale, fold it forward. On the next inhale, ground down through the soles of the feet. Start to sweep the arms up and overhead, keeping a soft bend in the knees. Finishing the inhales, the fingertips reach up tall and long. Exhale, hands toward center. Inhale, sweep the fingertips down and up overhead. Reaching long. Right fingertips grab hold of the left wrist. Start to bring the left arm up and overhead as it comes towards the right side of the room, reaching towards the right. Stretching out the left side of the body. Finding a little bit more depth, find a soft bend in the knees as the left leg curtsies back behind the right leg. Drive the left heel towards the earth and sink low, keeping a bend in the right leg. Getting a little bit more so into the hip, into the side body. Inhale back towards center, unraveling the body. Left fingertips grab hold of the right wrist, reaching up and over, creating a long sweeping arch towards the left side of the room. Exploring a little bit more depth, getting a little bit more into the hips, soft bend in the knees, curtsy the right leg behind the left, drive the right heel towards the earth, keeping that bend in the left knee, reaching the fingertips up and over. Finding space to reach and creating that arch all the way from the right hip through the fingertips. Inhale back towards center. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Maybe finding a little bit of space through the front of the body. Reaching the arms back. Then exhale, soft bend the knees into the hips. Forward fold. Finishing the exhale, fingertips come towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold once more. Then go ahead and grab hold of opposite elbows. Allow the head to hang heavy. And just start to sway left to right. Coming into ragdoll. Just giving your body a moment to relax, allowing gravity to take over, assisting your body in letting go of any tension, letting the neck hang long, finding space within the back body. And release your hold on the elbows, allowing the fingertips to come to the earth. And then start to bring the sit bones down towards the earth. Come into a passive squat for just a moment. Sit bones come to the earth, feet come out in front of you, and start to slowly lower down. Keeping the knees bent. Bringing the left ankle across the right knee. Pulling the right knee in towards the chest. Explore your space one movement at a time. If crossing your ankle across the knee is all you need, and stay there. Breathing into the hips. You're willing to explore your space a little bit deeper. Always know that driving the left knee towards the top of the mat and pulling the right knee in towards the chest a little bit more will get you a little bit deeper into the hips. But knowing that finding your deepest point is not needed. No matter when you're taking this class. Go ahead and bring the right foot back down towards the earth. And keeping this position, allow everything to fall towards the right. Arms can come into a capital T or goal post. Wherever they are, just relax them into the earth. Exhale, bring everything back towards the middle. Release the left leg and switch sides. Right ankle comes to left knee. Pressing the right knee towards the top corner of the mat. You can stay here or bringing everything in towards you. Grabbing hold of the left shin, pulling everything in towards you. Relaxing the upper body in towards the earth. Allowing the only effort, the majority of the sensation to be in the right hip. If you feel tension in the shoulders and the arms and the neck, release the legs back down and allow yourself to find a little bit more space, a little bit more comfort and ease. Drop the left foot to the earth. And then keeping that figure four position, allow everything to fall over towards the left. Sole of the right foot meeting the earth. Outer thigh, the left leg, rest down. Keeping that right ankle anchored just above the left knee. Keeping the integrity in the right knee, pressing the outer edge towards the top of the mat. To keep that space, that opening within the hip. Then these longer holds, coming back to your breath. Your hips are feeling a little bit more tight, breathing into those spaces. We're just focusing on the rise and fall of the rib cage. Whatever area your focus is coming to, in the end you're focusing back on your breath. And on the next breath, bring everything back towards center. Unravel the right leg, meeting the left, and let the legs come long. Arms lie alongside the body. Letting everything come wide, relaxing open, palms towards the sky. All the way from the toes to the hips, everything is slanting open, outward. Letting go of any tension that is holding you in, pulling you in. Allowing the body to become heavy into the earth. Continuing that focus on the breath. With every inhale, feeling the breath travel throughout the body. Feeling as though that inhale, that taking in that energy is relaxing all the muscles of the body. Knowing at the end of class today, you're leaving with a little bit more space, more openness, more calm. As you rest here, please know that you can stay as long as you may need. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.